Hey Megan. Hey Avey.
Hello.
Hey everybody.
Hi everyone.
I'm Megan.
I'm Avey.
This is Arnulfo Virtusio. He was a personal trainer for 20 years in California, and about 5 years ago, no, actually 3 years ago, he moved here, and he is now a trainer here at Lindinhof, where we are.
Loving it over here.
The gym.
Yeah.
Lindinhof Fitness Academy. And he works with riders. Specifically, he's worked with me. We won't talk about his clients, but he's worked with me for 5 years now, on and off, because I didn't really.
She had an injury.
I didn't really kind of believe in working out. And not that I didn't believe, but it was more like I would ride 6 to 9 horses a day, and I'm tired, and I'm like, oh, really? I'm fit. And so for my journey, we worked out, and then I also herniated a disc. So for 1 year, I was off recovering. And then this last year, we have been training and slowly increasing the intensity. And now I can really feel the benefits in my riding. They're huge. So now I work out, 4 to 5 times a week.
About that.
And it's mainly core work. However, he also works other muscles, which I will let him take the floor, but he also works with people who don't want to ride horses. So if
just regular people.
Yeah, everyone. He works with everybody and loves helping people with transformation. So here you are, Avey.
So I've been a personal trainer for 20 years, maybe a little over 20 years, but now that I'm here in Wisconsin, I love it out here. So what do you want to do?
Show me. Let's show them a workout.
Okay.
That benefits.
So we're gonna do back, legs, and core. Pretty much, I'm going to show you just different varieties of exercises the way you want to do it. You know, if you don't have the machines or the equipment, then we can do whatever it is. So we'll start with the back, but first we're going to start with just your core, get warmed up, and so you want to get going?
Yeah, I want to get going. Right. I've already been on the treadmill walking for 5 minutes. That's the way I warm up, and we also do bands. So we've already done that. So show us the exercise.
So here I have a kettlebell, which is awesome. It's called kettle grip. And if you don't have a kettle, like just a few kettlebells, I got this from Amazon, and it's pretty cool because you can transfer dumbbells into it and just transfer different weights. So
you don't have to buy dumbbells as well as kettlebells, but maybe they don't know what a kettlebell is. So let's show them. I'll bring it over. So this is a kettlebell, right?
Yep. But
we also have that version, so you don't have to buy
universal
both dumbbells and kettlebell.
Yeah.
I'll put this back.
It gets pretty expensive.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna do the kettlebell swings, which is this. So a little wide on the legs, wide on your stance, and you want to thrust with the hips. You don't want to just use your arms to bring it up. Okay. Use your core. So you're gonna do 10 reps.
Okay.
10 repetitions. So keep your back straight, right? Then your lower back just a little bit back, retracted. Exhale as you come up. Inhale as you drop down. Using that breathing technique so you don't get tired too fast. Good.
And Avey, how much weight do you suggest people start with when they're starting to do this kind of exercise?
About 15 pounds. It just really depends on the person. Like if they have any injuries or whatnot, it really depends on that.
And why don't you tell them like things to look for? Like it would be like.
So this one really takes care of like posture, right? The hips, when you thrust forward with the hips, you really engage your core with this instead of like using your back, because a lot of people.
So let's show them a back. So it'd be like this.
Bad form would be that.
This would be a bad form. So don't do this.
So because you're using your back to come.
And then what's a good?
So a good form is just come straight up, more explosive with the hips.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
So not this.
Yeah. So it's because this one, this way.
Ooh, that kind of hurts. I'll not.
That'll hurt your lower back.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then what's next? We're going to do some lunges. So lunges.
But wait a minute. Question. So in terms of a workout.
I'm ready to go for this workout.
How many, you would do this 3 exercises one after the other, or would you do this exercise, 2 other exercises, and then on the treadmill and you do it 3 times? Like, what do you suggest? How they
Well, 3
work out?
sets of these,
Okay.
right, for maybe 10 to 15 reps.
Mhm.
And then like in between you do your exercises.
Like a
So,
crunches
yeah,
or
just
something.
like, yeah,
Okay.
like a
So-
HIIT program.
We've got Sue is on chat. She says she has MS and her balance is badly affected. Would there be any way you could see that she could do something like this modified for somebody who has issues with balance?
You could use bands. You could use resistance bands for this. But
How would you do that?
if this one, if you can't really use the free weights, I would suggest you do more of like the floor exercises, like the hip thrust. So
Can we show her?
yeah, I'm
Would
gonna
that,
show her right now.
yeah,
Come on down. Lay down on your back. So
on this?
Yep, on your
Okay.
back. Lay down flat on your back.
Okay.
And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna do the hip thrust, right, or the bridge.
Oh,
This,
I don't like this one.
right?
Yep.
And you're gonna come up and down. Now, sometimes if you want to just bring it down, but you don't want to touch down to the floor, and then just keep it straight up and down. So the higher you go up, the more squeeze and contraction you'll have on your hamstrings, glutes, and low back. So you do this about 15, maybe 15 reps, 10 reps, it just depends on your ability. Now, if you want a little bit more advanced, you can go here,
Oh,
drop down, come up.
Wow.
I don't know
Right.
if I can do
So-
that. I usually do it on the Bosu.
Yeah, well, you can do it on the Bosu,
Ooh.
on the bench.
Yeah.
So, and this is really, you have to engage your core with this too.
I guess that looks really difficult.
It is. I'm not
So-
liking it.
So if you can't do the kettlebell swings like that, then this is good. This is a good way of doing it, a safer way of doing it.
Perfect for somebody who's got balance issues.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
Great
Yep.
question.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're gonna do lunges.
Oh, my
So
favorite.
another one for balance. Let's do some, we want to do stationary or walking lunges. Which one do you prefer?
Stationary.
Because if
It's
we go
hard
this
for
way.
me. So you
Okay.
guys will really see me struggle.
So I'm not a big fan of forward lunges because of just the motion where your body is going forward and then you're having to stop. And it's just so bad on the knee because when you stop, there's all this weight transferred. And so with a reverse lunge, it's more centered. When you're coming back, the weight is centered. It's not going forward where it puts a lot of stress on your knee.
Yeah, you can see that.
I actually really like the backward
The-
one you just showed.
Yeah, the reverse lunge, yeah. So let's do some reverse lunges. I'm gonna get some dumbbells here. We'll get some 15s.
Oh, no, he didn't.
15-pound dumbbells, yes.
Now starting out,
Starting out, you do, no weights, no free weights, no resistance, no added resistance. Your body weight is gonna be the weight anyway.
I'm
So-
still a work in progress on these lunges. I'm just gonna be honest with everyone. Oh, yeah.
So try not to lean too far back because if
Okay.
you start leaning too far back, then you will lose your balance.
All right, here we go.
Most of the weight should be
Ooh.
forward. And then with this one, you want to be right on your heel. Put more pressure on your heel than your toes. Again, if you put pressure on your toes, that means you'll start feeling it on your knee.
Okay.
Good.
For someone just starting this AV, would you recommend they just figure out how to do this without the weight?
Yeah, just without the weights.
I'm not
This
gonna lie.
is-
I like the weights because it keeps me.
Balance.
I would go less weight, obviously,
Yeah.
if you're starting out, but on it, you can see my balance isn't very good. So it helps me stay balanced.
So the heavier, the more balance you feel.
So this one is way
Yeah,
harder
so
for
stay on
me.
your- Stay on your heel. So the front foot of the heel should be planted. It should not rise up.
Okay.
There you go. Perfect. Always keeping your core engaged. That is the number one key. Keep your core engaged. I'm all about core and balance.
Core is important for riders.
Oh, totally, totally, totally.
Okay.
Yeah, and let's do the other side. Have you done the other side?
I did the other side. I did
On the
both.
other side. Okay.
Okay.
Drop that down.
Okay.
Then we're gonna do back now. So
Any questions for people on that one? No?
Sue said she would have already fallen over.
Sue, come on.
all right. So now I'm gonna set this aside. So what we've been working on is posture, back.
Oh, question before you get started, because we should talk about this for every exercise. Why are lunges good for riders?
It supports and it strengthens your whole core and of course your legs. Because I mean, if you do lunges, you'll feel this on your legs, but you have to really engage your core for that balance. So there you go.
Thank you.
Strengthens the glutes, hamstrings, the quadriceps, yeah, all that. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the dumbbell rows. So with this one, I want you to pull this towards your midsection instead of, a lot of people tend to pull it here. I want you to pull it more towards your midsection. Okay, so when you do this, you exhale, then inhale forward. When you exhale up, so contract and release.
And maybe talk about why breath work is so important, because I know, like, for me, I hold my breath. Why?
You still do?
Yeah, I still do. Well, I'm trying. I'm a work in progress, people, but just wanted to share like the ins and outs. Like, why do you exhale as you pull up instead of inhale?
So whenever you're exerting energy, whenever you're pulling something heavy or pushing something heavy, you have to always exhale, right? It's just like a car. Whenever you press the gas, press the pedal to go forward, then exhaust comes out, right? So exhaling. So that's pretty much my analogy of it.
Because it helps you push through,
forward,
right? Yeah. And I find, as for riders, because this is important when you're riding, what I've been learning is holding my breath, right? And I work really hard on breathing, and I think about my horse breathing. So I think it's really important. I breathe in the workout, and I sometimes don't. So pay attention to that.
And so also, you don't want to do a reverse, right? You don't want to inhale as you're pulling and exhaling as you're dropping. So exhale. So whenever you exert energy, exhale. So what's going on is, what we're trying to do is just try to condition this area right here, which is her lats, her scapula right here. And try not to tighten this area right here, your traps. Okay. Always loose around here.
Okay.
Because you don't want to do the wrong form.
So let's show them a bad form. So like, what's a common bad form for this exercise?
A bad form is pulling from your shoulder.
Okay, so let's see if I can do this. Like that?
Right there. That's the bad form.
Can you guys see that?
Yeah, you're coming up more into your shoulder.
It's almost like a shrugging.
Like that, right? Versus,
that way.
And I also feel like I'm pushing through my chest, which I think we as females don't do that. What about like rounding the back?
Rounding the back?
Like
no,
that?
because now you're not engaging your core. Right?
So
always keep this neutral. Chest forward, shoulders back, right? Engage your core. Exhaling as you come up, inhaling as you lower.
Okay, and same thing like riders, right? We should be looking in the mirror if we don't. If we don't.
Mirror is always good, because you want to see yourself, doing the form, and if it's correct, then you'll know it. And if it's not, then you'll definitely feel that though.
So maybe have, like, if you're working on the bench, maybe sideways, so that way, if you don't, or even with a personal trainer, I should be watching, even though I kind of.
But you have to really go with the feel too. Go with the feel, like feel those muscles contracting, right? And sometimes I'll just tap onto that muscle, and then she'll, send those nerves, those messages to her muscle, right? Because a lot of people will just do a lot of motion, just go with the motion, but they're not contracting the proper muscle.
And so we shouldn't be going quick at it, right?
You don't want to be going slow.
So feeling for that.
Feel for that.
Okay.
Feel for that muscle.
That's a good advice.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait. Why is this exercise good for riders?
So it gets you up on your horses. I'm not a rider, so but it gets you good posture. So your shoulders should be retracted this way instead of slouching forward. Because most of us, when we get to like our adulthood, we get to a slouch position like this, just because of work
Mm-hmm.
just because of, you know, like just a bad posture.
So if
And
you're
so-
hearing this from the trainer, right?
Yeah.
Shoulders
So-
back, and you're riding like this would be a good exercise
Exactly.
to help you outside of your lessons.
Exactly.
Okay.
Good posture. This is great for good posture.
Okay. All right.
So, all right. So let's go to sumos. You want to
Okay.
do sumos?
I
right.
love sumos.
She loves sumos. Okay.
Okay,
So we're going to do
back
this with a dumbbell. So we're going to do a plie sumo, or
PA sounds like a ballet.
Yeah. plie is more like a positioning of your stance. So toes out, pointed toes out, knees out. And then what you do is you just go straight down.
Okay.
Now again, keeping that hip back and then your chest forward, right? So you're gonna feel this on your inner thighs, outer thighs, glutes as well. Always engage in your core. I'm like a broken record. Engage the core.
What if let's tell them some things to look for that you harp on me.
Okay.
Like I don't stick my butt out.
So sometimes you really have to drop your hips back.
And I do this.
Right? And
Right?
so a
See
lot
the
of people tend to do this,
Right? And you got to do.
right? And
Oh.
especially riders. That's
Yeah.
what I noticed. Riders do.
Strain the lower back doing this.
It would it would strain this if you would do it incorrectly, because doing this. Now I could really feel this on my knees now.
Oh,
so
I do.
when I bring this back, then you're stabilized. You're using a lot of gluteus, a lot of other muscles, a lot of these
And your
large
core.
muscles, and your core, of course.
Yeah. Okay. What other common things?
The
with that?
heels again. The heels.
heels?
Yep. The
You want my
heels.
heels
Anytime
coming
when
up?
you're standing, always
Okay.
plant the heels down, right?
Oh, yeah.
You want your toes coming up.
Okay. So we're good
So you're
there.
gonna do about 10 reps.
I think I
So
have.
exhaling as you come up,
Okay.
inhale as you drop down.
How far down AB should they go?
It just depends on flexibility. It really depends on flexibility, and
Do you want to attempt to get stronger to go further?
yes, of course. Always challenge yourself. Flexibility is key as well.
And should you hold for a second?
You could hold for a second, just
Oh,
different ways of doing it.
Okay.
You could do these pulses as well, right? So when you're at that position, you could do these little pulses here, down, instead of a full range of motion.
Posting trot.
Yeah. So that will burn your quadriceps and your
Yes.
glutes out. So it's more of like just exhaust the muscles, you know, to failure. So yeah. What else do
And
we have here?
why would that exercise be good for a rider?
Just for balance. A
Balance.
lot of balance. You know, just your legs. We need to develop our legs for strength and for balance. So plie is a good way of doing, like, strengthening your inner thighs and outer thighs, your glutes, at the same time. So exhaling as you come up, inhale as you drop down.
And how many should they be doing? 10 to 15?
It really
It depends on the individual,
yeah.
and then they should do, is it
Just 3
called
sets.
3 sets?
Yeah.
How
Okay.
much weight would you have them dumbbell start with?
Start with, well, you could use just without weights, and then, you know, later on you could just add weights to it if you want.
So do a
The more and
test.
more the weights you have, better you're off.
Do a test run, right?
Yeah.
Like, so if you're new to exercise, don't add
Yeah.
the weight.
Right.
And then slowly increase.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just depends on how, you know, what your progression is, right? So, all right. So now, what do you want to do? Let's do some core.
Okay. Bring
Do
on
some
the core.
Okay. So we're gonna do some crunches, and
Ooh.
here, I see a lot of people doing the wrong kind of crunch, or the wrong way of crunching.
Shouldn't we be here so you can watch?
So right here.
Let's do it at an angle.
Here.
Have to get away from the window.
Yep.
Okay. How about here?
I keep backing up to the window. There you go.
How about here?
Okay.
Does that work? Okay.
So let's do a crunch. And
Okay.
again, let's do a crunch.
A good, bad,
Crunch,
doesn't
so
matter.
what you want to do is you want to put your hands behind your ears.
Now, do I grip
right?
really
Do not
hard?
grip hard. Okay. You're not gripping
Don't
hard.
do it.
You can clasp your fingers. You can
Okay.
Release your fingers like that, but do not pull on your neck.
Okay. No
Okay.
pulling on the neck. Yep.
All right.
And then
So you're
like,
gonna come up.
yep.
So exhaling, doing the breathing. There you go. So exhale as you come up. Inhale as you drop back down. Now, also, you could do a pelvic tilt. So the pelvic tilt is tilting the pelvic
And you do
towards
that
you.
first, And then you,
as you come up.
or
as
you
you're
do it at
coming
the
up,
same time.
at the same
Okay.
time.
Ooh.
What do you mean, maybe the pelvic tilt? Maybe give a little more
So,
explanation on that.
So the pelvic tilt is just keeping these like lower abdominal muscles activating, right? So like when you're on a horse, I guess, you know, I guess you're doing a tilt on the pelvic anyway, right? So I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but with a pelvic tilt, you can activate these muscles as well as when you're coming up, you're activating the upper, engaging that core. So from lower to upper abdominal, you're engaging all this area right here from lower to upper at the same time.
now would you also suggest?
So you can
this
have your
one
arms
as
out
well? I like
if you want.
this one because I tend to pull on my neck, and I cheat. So like I know that about me. So, and then it helps me feel for that crunch.
Yeah. So you just, it's really all about that feel anyway. If you're not feeling a crunch, and if you're feeling it more on your shoulders, that means you are not pulling from your abdominal.
Yeah, and I tend to pull, and then I start to feel it
Yeah.
in my shoulders
Yeah.
come up, so I feel it there. So for me, doing the crunch this way is more beneficial. But for someone else listening, this might not work for them. So you also have this option.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Megan. I would be cheating if I put my hands and pull my head up.
And I always forget about my pelvis. Like for me, I think I'm sitting on a face clock. So like I like to roll back onto the 6, you know, with the old face clocks and that had numbers. So I think I'm laying on the 6 or sitting on the 6. And then I usually do my pelvis first, even though you probably should do it at the same time, like Avey says. But that, because I cheat. I like to cheat. And so I make sure I'm not cheating by thinking, okay, I get on the 6, and make sure you don't use your legs, right?
Yep.
Because you can, yeah.
So leg positioning is just really up to the person. Now, if the person is more advanced, they can come up here with their legs up off the floor. You can still do a pelvic tilt from doing this.
Oh yeah.
See?
And I can't do it before I have to do it at the same
Right,
time.
at the same time. And it's hard,
Yeah.
right? Because you can't really cheat now using your legs.
Somebody put their legs over a couch, a chair, a bed,
Yes, or you could,
and
yeah,
have them held up.
yeah, just resting up.
Would that change and intensify the angle of
Yeah,
the
just
tone, right? Or the
Yep.
angle of the hip?
it does. When you take the legs off the floor, yeah, it intensifies the exercise. Yeah. So, or if you want to put weights onto your like say onto your hands.
Because this is
Right.
how you start the core work, and then would we do, like you have me doing Russian twist? Do you want to show them Russian twist?
Okay, come on up.
Or
Some Russian twists.
I think the first exercise that probably is where you do the reverse crunch. Should we do that first and then do the?
Yeah, we could do a reverse crunch on the floor. So
On
just
the
because
floor.
if anyone doesn't have,
Okay.
you know, if someone doesn't have the bench or the equipment for you know, just like the gym, then you could do it off the floor.
Okay.
Go ahead, drop down all the way back.
Oh, I haven't done it this way, so.
So the leg raises. You want to do the leg raises?
Okay.
Okay, so let's do the leg raises. Arms out to the side.
Okay.
Right? Now, if you have low back issues,
I like
put your hands right here on your lumbar,
Okay.
just for support.
Okay.
All right, so bring your legs up
Like that.
and down. Good.
So you just start basic here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if it's getting to your back, I want you to bend the knees a little bit more. A little bit more.
More.
Right
Okay.
there.
Oh.
And then just drop down. So it's
Oh,
less
that does
tension on your
change.
back.
Oh, that really changes. I like this.
Yeah. You like this better?
Yeah. Than this. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
then I start using my back.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
it's
this is-
because of like, you know, weaker abdominal
Yeah.
muscles.
That's fine.
So,
And then,
but
then
this is more advanced right here.
and then the next one
And
is
then
where
do
you
the hip
raise.
thrust. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then you go all the way down.
Yeah.
And then
So
up.
exhale as you come up, inhale as you drop down. There you go. So you do this about 10, 15 times, just depending on how strong you are.
Okay.
Okay, so exhale as you come up, inhale as you drop back down. So I always tell Megan, exhale through the mouth, inhale through the nose. Good. Yep.
Okay.
Or we could do the reverse crunches, right? Sitting up. So reverse crunches is this. So put your hands behind you, you're sitting up, and then you're bringing your legs towards you this way. A lot of people call it jackknives, but I think this is your reverse crunches this
I'd
way.
rather do it on the bench. Oh, why do
Right.
I want to do it on the bench instead of this way? Just because I'm familiar with it?
Yeah, because you're familiar with it. And then it has a little bit more range to it.
No, but we should probably show him this is not what you should be doing, because I remember he had to correct me with this. So you can't, it's not this.
So
Right.
the heels doesn't come underneath you. A lot of people tend to do this,
And that's not a reverse.
and this
Yeah.
is really not doing much for my abdominal. So
Yeah,
when you keep your heels away from you, you get a little bit more contraction there, a little bit more work on that abdominal area. Because this one, you don't feel the same way as that way, because what you're doing is you're feeling it more in your quadricep. So you're working more in your quadriceps than your abdominal. So here, there's a lot more weight being transferred from the front to back. So this one, you're coming underneath, which doesn't really make sense. But a lot of people tend to do that, but you know, to each his own.
Okay.
So,
It's
okay.
not gonna harm you, it's just not gonna work out what you're thinking is working out. It's gonna work the leg.
Yes, exactly. And you know, a lot of people think, okay, but that's the way they think, and
That's
everyone
okay.
has different ways of working out. So
Let's see the next level of ab or core work.
core. Okay,
Yeah.
so now we're gonna go on to a torso rotation, a
Okay.
Russian twist, right? So I'm gonna give you, oh, there it is, 5 pound.
And you want me to stay on the ground?
Stay on the ground.
Okay.
For most people, we're gonna stay on the ground first.
Okay.
And we're gonna show you an advanced exercise for this as well.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So Russian twist.
So they could start out with their feet on the
Yep.
ground, right?
Yep.
I think this is more comfortable, actually.
This is for they're just the beginners, right? You know, for people who's never worked out before, it's better for their lower back, so there's not too much stress on their back. Because when you raise your legs off the ground, then it puts a lot of stress on your back because of weak abdominal.
Okay. Well,
Right.
I like it on the bench. I could do it on
Yeah,
the bench.
you can do it
not
on the bench.
ground.
And with Megan, she's really gotten advanced to this.
Okay, so we're doing
So
the
we're gonna do the Bosu ball
Oh, exciting.
for riders, because I believe in balance a lot. And so I put her on the Bosu ball.
Should we,
So have a seat on the
can
Bosu
we
ball.
do the reverse crunches first?
You can do whatever you
Okay.
want.
right.
We're just
See, this is,
activating those abdominal
Okay.
muscles.
so this is,
So when you're using the Bosu ball, it's more unstable, right? If you don't know what the Bosu ball is. So it's anything unstable surface is always harder. It's always more challenging.
yeah.
So
So once you are comfortable on the ground, move to the Bosu.
yeah.
And then you can do,
And then you could do,
all right, so this is hard.
so this is the Russian
So
twist.
I would recommend starting out just this way.
With your
correct?
heels
They
down
could
on the
start
floor.
here,
Yep.
right? And then now you gotta, ooh.
So now she's really using all her balance.
And the biggest thing is make sure you're centered on the Bosu ball. Because like if you are here,
Yeah.
you're always gonna be falling.
Yeah. So it's just the weight transfer.
And if you sit back here, wear your helmet. I'm not doing that one. I'm not falling
Just
off.
really find your center. Find that center of your
And you could
gravity.
just do this
Yeah.
first, right?
Yeah.
Like you could just, because I know we did this for a long time, just finding my center before I even start the
Moving
motion,
around, yeah.
right? So, the pressure.
So this is pretty difficult. This is hard. But Megan's already graduated from this.
And 2 years ago, I couldn't do any of this. So just FYI, people, you can do it too.
Yep. Anyone can do it.
Okay, so we did that.
So now,
What's next?
what's next? Let's do the jackknives.
Oh.
Okay. So this is the jackknives on the rope. But
How long is this session, Steph?
yeah, she said that now. I'm going to give you an hour or so.
4 hours.
Oh my god!
So the jackknife is more like on the rower. Now you're face down this time.
Maybe go from the head, Steph, so you're not videoing the rear end.
So now what you don't want to do, so I use a rower machine for the jackknife as well. So now I'm having to balance myself and bringing my knees towards. Now this is a jackknife right here, and now this is a pike. A pike is when you don't.
There's a difference.
When you don't bend the knees.
Okay.
Jackknife is when you.
Show us that again.
Yeah.
So the pike, the jackknife, is when you're bending the knees,
And
right? And then the pike.
I haven't graduated to the pike yet.
Is when you don't bend the knees.
Wow.
So let's see.
Let's see my
see.
form on this after you.
Now you always want to be flat on the plank position, because if you keep your hips too high, then you won't be contracting your abdominals as much.
And if you have any balance issues, you should probably not do this alone.
Yeah, this is a little bit more advanced.
Like maybe tell people that, like,
Spotter?
yeah, always have a spotter if it's
Yeah.
consisting of balance. Because to me, this is also a mental issue, like a mental exercise.
So always keep your weight forward, because if you keep your weight back, then you're going to slide out and you're going to lose your balance. And this is great for your lower abdominal as well, because we're pulling from your hip flexor onto your abdominal.
Okay, that sucks.
That
That's brutal. And I've never done the pike. I'm okay.
Actually, it looks like a workout on the upper body.
And the upper body, because you're trying to stabilize yourself.
Your body weight is more forward onto your hands.
Yes, exactly. Right. You don't want to be transferring your weight back, because you are not going to make it up. So, all right. Let's see. For lower back, what we're going to do.
Oh, and maybe like with this exercise, would you say if you can only do three, right? Like they don't have to, like the first time you do that exercise, go with once you've advanced to this level, don't be like, I have to do 15. Yeah, if you can do only one. I saw Avey do 15, like start out slow, because that exercise is brutal.
Just a gradual improvement, gradual strength. So
you're saying you're not going to start out in the gym day one with
no.
And then also, like I have already warmed up with all these crunch exercises. Like, so as you're thinking of an exercise, would you put this maybe in the middle, because you do.
So sometimes I'll put it in between the exercises.
You wouldn't end. Right? Also make sure it's kind of like our horses. We do a nice warm-up exercise, then a tough one, and then a cool out.
Yeah.
Apologies, people. I think we may have lost you briefly there, but
Uh-oh. We're in the woods. Sorry, guys.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to do the hyper back extension. So I'm going to show you just different ways of you can do it. The way you can do it is.
And you do these exercises after you've done core work, right? Because you have to work the front of the body.
No, you could do whichever. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, but yeah, abdominal first, obliques, and then I think lower back is the last, pretty much. So that's how I do it. So this is your hyper back extension. So not everyone has this machine here. So what you do is you place your hands, cross your hands around your chest, and then what we're doing is we're strengthening the low back. As you come forward, you want to inhale, exhale as you come back up. So inhale, so you're going to really feel this on your glutes as you're coming back up, because you're really engaging and contracting those muscles. Maybe you'll find your hamstrings getting contraction too, but mainly it's for the low back. So let's see.
My turn?
Yep, your turn.
My turn. And this also, I think, is a mental exercise, because I always ask Avey to step on the back of it, because I feel like I'm going to go falling over on my face. I haven't yet. I still don't trust this thing. Right, babe?
She doesn't trust it.
No.
And there's an adjustment to this as well. So this padding here should always be right on your hips. There you go. So you could have your hands across your chest or behind your ears.
And then you can also hold the
So
weight,
yeah, you can also
too.
hold weight there. Yep.
Oh yeah. Good?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then if you can't do that, then you could do the stability ball against the wall, right?
Okay.
Or have someone hold your feet down. And this is a little bit more challenging as well, because when you're doing this, so you're hovering over the ball, you're laying over the ball, and someone is behind you holding your feet down. And then you're going to do the same exercise, pretty much the same exercise. I can't do it because no one's holding me down.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, you do
Yeah,
it.
because I don't do what you do. Okay, so I go out
So out,
like this.
hover.
Do I go out
Yep,
further on
just
it?
like that.
Or just like,
You're
okay,
good.
okay. Oh yeah, I don't like
Right
this
there.
one at all.
This is another way of doing it if you don't have that hyper back extension machine.
Ooh, you better really trust your person too.
Then you can do this against the wall, but you know, sometimes you'll slide off the wall.
Ooh, that's a much harder workout, but you got to trust your person.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that's for your low back, mainly for your low back. Again, if you have back issues, then I would say the bridging, the hip thrust would be the best if you have low back issues and you want to strengthen that area.
Okay.
So, all right, what do we have?
Donna says she likes the bouncy ball in her workout routine.
Oh, good. Donna, which Donna is that?
WDCTA Donna.
Oh, you don't know her. But
Okay.
She's in the chat.
Oh, okay.
She's saying she likes the bouncy ball.
Ah, the bouncy ball.
Okay.
So now on the legs, let's go back to the legs.
Okay.
Now I'm just going to set this aside. More for balance, right? It's all about the balance.
So you mean we can't forget leg day?
No, can't forget leg day. No skipping leg day.
Forgetting leg
No
day.
skipping leg day. Okay, so on this one, you want to get on the Bosu ball. Okay. Right? And then you're going to do some squats.
Oh.
Right?
Yep.
Some squats. It's pretty hard, but you have to really find your balance.
Laughingly and smiling.
And he looks so great at it. And then here's my version.
Okay. So if you're doing this again, hips back, right? Arms out in front for counterbalancing.
But also, why don't you maybe give someone who's maybe just starting out on the Bosu some advice on how to get on the...
So getting on is I would say just one leg at a time. Right.
And then maybe they should have a spotter multiple times. Like they're just starting out. Like you got to remember.
So getting on is just one leg at a time, 1 foot at a time, right? And then finding your balance. It's really on the hips. It's really from the hips that you're balancing from. Hips, abdominal area. A lot of people tense up on the legs, right? And then they start shaking, right? And they start losing their balance.
So it's just like posting the trot, which I know you're not as familiar with, but we shouldn't be tensing up the leg.
So not tense on the legs.
Think of posting trot.
So it's really mainly from the hips and abdominal. So contract your abdominal, right? Because I can move myself around without falling, right?
You, sir.
Yeah.
So come on, Megan. Okay. Come on up.
So it's okay. I can hold on to them.
Yeah, hold on to a wall or something,
and then put one leg off to the side. I like how there's that little ball or a little circle. Okay, here I am. And sometimes you might need to adjust. Okay, so now.
Yep, good.
Woo! Tighten those abs, people.
It's all about core. Core first. Engage your core. Now try not to collapse the knees together, right?
All right.
So if you collapse the knees together, that means you're really not using your abductors, which are like your thighs, your outside thighs. I don't want to, get into medical terminology, but
how's that? Good?
A little lower.
Oh, that's the worst part, lower.
So the lower, the better.
Good?
One more. And hold it down. Hold it here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So as you're doing these exercises, you have to be breathing as well. Okay, so inhale down, exhale up. Okay,
Again?
and then now, okay, so we're gonna do another one. I'm gonna show
So
you
you go
another
down
way. I'm gonna show you another way of doing this. If you are advanced already, so if you are already working out, so come on off
Oh, God.
the Bosu. So we flip this over.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
We flip this over.
Oh.
Again, you know, like you could find a wall or pole to get on. But for some people,
Just to note, Avey had to grab on a piece of equipment.
yep. So again, try to find your balance, right? But this time a little wider on your stance. Then you go down, and you come up, inhale, exhale. Never extend, fully extend and lock out your knees. Because when you do, then you get taller, right? And then you lose more of a center of gravity, right? So the lower you are, the more balanced you will be, right? The higher you are, the less balance, right? It's going to be more challenging when you do that. So out here, exhale, inhale down, exhale up. So try not to wiggle and
Then you want to see me do it.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm
This is how we do it.
I'm
so
not
she
shy.
hold on to my head here,
Okay.
and then I'll just hold on to the Bosu.
Ready?
All right, just spotting.
Okay. Ready?
Okay.
Why do I feel more on the left? Let go.
Okay, I'm gonna let go.
Whoa.
Don't worry.
Whoa.
See, this is where you really find your balance now.
I feel like I'm too
Your
far
more
back.
dominant side.
Yeah, this in itself is an exercise. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
This is a little bit more advanced. For me, it would be more advanced than the other side. The other side's a little bit more balanced here, so.
Okay. We're doing good. How's my form?
Good form.
What do you need to look for?
So always try to keep the Bosu ball flat, right? Even though it's on that upside down, you always want to make it flat.
And yeah, I personally have to do this by feel. I am not looking down.
Well, exercise is all for feel, right? I mean, it's not like, okay,
So it's
someone
just like
can be
riding.
just doing the correct or the right form, but they're not pulling with the right muscle. So
Okay, good.
You do this, Megan, looking in the mirror, or is that too distracting?
For me, I think everybody's individual. I gotta like focus on a spot. Now, how do I dismount?
So you dismount,
Okay.
you drop one down, you like lean to one side, and then you hop over. There you go.
Because that you can really get hurt. So
Yeah. So when you mount, you get on one side and the other side, and then you just dismount.
and again,
Right
it
there.
would be better to have a spotter,
Yeah.
especially if you're uncomfortable with it. If you're young and agile, go forth and try it. Maybe put your helmet on.
So now we're gonna go on to again to the core, your obliques this time.
Oh yeah,
Right?
this one.
So we're gonna do the side bends on the hyperextension. So you're gonna go down and up. So always make sure that this leg is forward. The inside leg goes forward, and then the outside leg goes back. So you could use weights with this as well. Like say if I was working out, I would have my hand behind my ear. Whoo, this is good. So this is working your obliques.
And you want to feel it in your side. You don't want to feel it in your bicep, right?
Yep. So, all right, Megan.
Again, I do not like this machine. I always feel like I'm going to get bucked off.
There you go. And you don't want to round your body too much or curve your body too much. It's really more straight down and straight up.
Oh.
And if you're not feeling it down here on your hip, and you're feeling it more here by the rib cage area, right? Because this is where you want to pull from your obliques.
Yep, we're pulling. And then it's easy to change sides.
Yep, it's easier to change sides because you're just flipping over.
And then, oh, so much easier this side. And then you'll feel where your weak side is
Yeah,
too.
you'll find your weaker side with balance or strength. So exhaling as you're coming up, inhale as you drop down. I don't think we've used weights before, right?
Yeah, we have.
We have?
Yep.
So you do about 10 to 15 reps.
All right, cool.
So what else? Oh, the RDLs. Let's do the
yeah.
RDLs.
Let's
The
do it.
Romanian deadlifts, we call it. So, or the stiff leg deadlifts. So this is what we're gonna do here. This is the same weight. Not sure. There it is. Okay. This is gonna work the low back, the hamstring area. Right? Glutes, activation. So what you're doing is lowering down, right? You're gonna feel this here on your hamstring. As you lower down, you don't want to squat this way, right? You want to hinge from your hips, but keep this angle on your legs the same way. So keeping your back straight as you come down, and then come up, exhaling. Inhale as you come down, exhale. You're gonna feel this also on your glutes and a little bit on your low back. But this is great for like conditioning your low back, but you don't want to feel that too much where it's painful, right? If there's difference where pain and soreness. So if you're sore already on your low back or on your hamstrings, then you shouldn't be doing this. You should be recovering with this, from this exercise.
So when you're working out, you should be slightly uncomfortable. Is that what you're telling us? Yeah.
So because you're working those muscles, right? And
But
the thing is,
pain.
yeah,
Yep.
you shouldn't be in pain.
Yep.
Right? If you're in pain, you should stop right away. Feel pain, like something that's uncomfortable or not normal, then yeah, you should stop right away. Don't continue on. So, all right, come on over. Squeeze the glutes as you're coming up. Inhale. So the dumbbells, your hands have to be as close as possible to your legs.
Okay.
Knees slightly bent. There you go. Chest forward. Always keeping that chest forward.
That's a thing that people do. You shouldn't do it like this.
Keep your chest forward, shoulders back.
Okay. So I gotta be here.
So there you go. So this should be flat. Now it just really depends on the person. If they have, the range of motion, the flexibility. And some people will just round their back a little bit, but then in time they'll get stronger with their back, with their core, and they'll be able to flatten their back.
Okay.
Where do you feel this? So you should feel this right here on your hamstrings.
Yep.
And then
And
the glutes.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Good.
Feeling the burn.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
All right. Now.
What about like showing them the TRX and a cool out?
Oh.
Like how we stretch, because this is really beneficial.
So the stretch, when we're stretching, I like to use the TRX.
What is TRX?
The TRX is your suspension training. It's just like it's a nylon strap that has handles to it, and you put it or you hook it on to pretty much anywhere.
You can take it into a hotel.
And then you could put it against the door, and then close the door, and it has like a little door hanger. So I'm gonna have Megan come on over here. She's my Vanna White. Yeah, no, you're good. You're in a good spot. You're in good. Maybe over here. So this one, you want to be when we're doing the squats. You want to be. Oh, you want to do the squats or
no? I was just you show them this one, and then I was
okay. So this is your squats as well. You want to do the TRX with the squats. This is another way of doing it.
Now your toes are on the ground.
Yeah, my toes are on the ground, right?
Not your flat foot.
Not my flat foot, right? Like this, right? So my toes are on the ground. Now this again is for balance, right? So when you're on your toes, you're feeling it more here, but there's not enough I would say resistance to it. So to really feel it on your knees. So that's why you could be on your toes. Now you could also be on your heels if you want, but I like to be on my toes. So just less surface for my feet. So I have a little bit more balancing to do, right? All right, so come on over.
Okay.
Meg.
Yeah.
Again, this corrects your form, actually. Go ahead.
Oh, I thought
So
I was
feet
doing
apart.
the stretches.
No.
Oh, I see how this works. And then what?
So you're going to drop back.
Okay.
Go ahead. Drop back a little bit more. Drop the hips. There you go. So if you're, I guess most riders, they have their tendency is to bring their hips forward though. Right, Meg? Am I right?
Yes, I hate sticking my butt out.
Yeah. So for jumpers, I guess, for other riders, hunter jumpers.
This would be a great exercise.
Yeah.
I
But
do
we're
not
talking
like
about
this
equestrians,
exercise.
right? So
Yeah, we're talking to a dressage group.
a dressage group.
We
Okay.
do not stick our tail
But
out.
if you don't though, you know your knees will feel the pain,
Okay.
right? And you don't want that.
All right.
Okay, so now let's move on to the stretching.
Yeah.
Right? So this is our favorite one.
This is the cool out.
Yeah.
It's our long and low for our horses. Only now it's for people.
Yeah. So I don't see a lot of people doing this though, but in those years I've been training, I've kind of really put something together with this stretch. So what I do is I just drop my hips back.
Oh, this one's so yummy.
And then I stretch everything out from my heels to my low back to my upper back. And then what I do is I just slide to the side, then get a little stretch, shift my weight, go back to the center, and then I rotate. And it's not a big rotation, not a big range of motion. And so this is stretching my back and my hamstring. So, but with this, we want to keep your toes up off the floor though.
Oh yeah.
You want to keep your head down. There you go. It's not much of a range of motion on the rotation. And then
love.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, and then when we stretch our shoulders, our chest, our pectoral. So what I do is I just come from here, bring the hips back again. It's all about that hip. And then I just drive my arm down, one arm down, and I bring this other arm down. I come both of them down at the same time, and I bring it down again, and then I flip it over, flip my hands over, and I just fall forward, right? And a lot of people have this fear of falling, and then what I do is I just drop forward, drop my knee down, come back up. Not everyone can do this, but I'm just showing you what you can do, right? And then you want to show them for the back?
No, you can.
All right, so for the back, for your lats, this is what I'm really focused on right here. I put my feet together, and then this hand is always right by my shoulder, and then this arm is up above my head, and then I just stretch all this,
Just
my
like our
lats all the way
horses.
down to my hip. Okay, so I just give that a stretch. Stay there for however long you want, and then you do the other side. And then there's another one where it stretches your shoulder. Flip it over, and then kind of step out though, because you don't want too much resistance to this. Then you'll tilt your head to the side. And so what I'm doing is I'm stretching this area right here, my trapezius, all the way down to my shoulder, right? And then I'll bring it back around, and I'll just bring it across my chest. Now again, this hand is right by my shoulder, and then I'll step forward with my inside leg. It's always the inside leg that goes forward, right? But do not cross over though. It's just going forward, extending this back leg. Front leg is bent, and now I'm just gonna turn. It's like a gap stretch on the floor when you're doing a floor stretch. So this is more of a gap stretch though. But with this stretch, you're getting a little bit more range of motion, a little bit more stretch to it. So you're gonna feel this from this back all the way down to the lower back. So you're going straight across instead of just straight down. You wanna feel that?
No, you
No?
keep showing them.
Okay, so, and for the legs, for the quads, I'll drop back again. And I'll drop my heels. And then I'll just bring my knees down.
Oh yeah, this is great.
And then I'll bring my arm across. So it really opens up my torso.
You can see how these exercises are what we're asking of our horses.
And so that's my TRX exercise.
And this is a great cool
This is
down.
real cool down, yeah.
But also, could they, if they don't have a lot of time, maybe
Yeah.
15 minutes,
Yeah.
this would be great to
Yep.
do before they ride,
Yep.
or even when they wake
Yeah.
up.
So when they ride, before they ride, I think for some people, when they do a little exercise, a little warm up before they ride, it's better for them. It's more beneficial for them. But
Oh,
you
it's
know,
huge. The students that I have that train with Avey before they come to their lesson, I see a major difference in their riding. Like, he's making my job so much easier. They're so much more aware of their body, and they're stronger and more flexible. So we have, what, about 2 minutes, would you say? Are there any questions of anyone who's watching for Avey on this session? Anyone in the chat?
Yeah, we'll look at the chat real quick. If anybody's got a question, throw it in the chat.
Do you have any closing ideas you want to send people off with?
I think, you know, everyone should just work on their balance and their core strength first before they start working on strength. The strength comes in later on, but you know, find their balance, find their core strength, work on their core strength, and then just move on from there. But don't go right away into like going heavy on with weights or whatever. But it's just, you know, you could do, you know, flexibility, things like that. So yeah, pretty much it really works for most people, not just riders, for most people.
For
So,
everyone,
yeah.
yeah. Longevity in
Yeah.
life, flexibility.
Yeah.
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 Cool.
Absolutely.
Any questions?
No, nobody's got any questions that I'm seeing in here. So thanks, you guys. Thank you, Megan and Avey.
Yeah, of course.
Avey, that was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, really appreciated that. Like you said, you know, a lot of stock riders in there, but we never know who's going to stumble upon this video.
Yeah.
For people, Western, you name it. So,
And if
great.
anyone has any questions, if anyone needs guidance,
Yeah.
contact Avey. He's always happy to help riders. Even if it's a one-time, you know, just to set you off on the right path, he's happy to do that as well. And then you also have this video as a reference.
Yeah, maybe how would you like him? Should we put his email eventually
Sure.
down in the description here?
Yeah.
Email, or he's better with texting. And if
Yeah.
he doesn't call you or he doesn't text you back, call him.
Or you just come here and, you know, I'll give you a little demo.
Well,
You know.
This will be available on, you know, for later viewing, and if people are too far away or something.
Yeah, I also do virtual. So
Yeah, can you quick discuss that?
I have clients from, you know, California, a lot of clients from California, and we do virtual. So I just hook this on my phone, and then, you know, it's either FaceTime or Zoom. So, and then we get connected, and yeah, we do a great
So
workout.
you can teach anybody in the world as long as they have
Yes.
internet.
Yes.
And
That's great.
a gym or
Yeah.
some
You know,
of
they
them.
don't really have to have a
Yeah.
full gym like this, but you know, they can work with, you know, just minimal weights.
He's
you
very
know,
creative.
so
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
so
Well,
yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate
Yeah.
you too. Thanks for inviting WDCTA in here. We
Of
really
course.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Megan, thanks for being the big demo exercise person.
Yeah. Great workout.
So, yep, you guys, you know, if you got questions and you didn't get a chance to add them in the live chat, please put them in the comments down below. And again, this video will be available on YouTube at any point in time if you want to rewatch it. So thanks, you guys. Thanks to everybody that came to the
Thank you,
live
Avey.
stream.
Thank you.
And
Good
we'll
job.
see you all. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Good job.